Hi people, it's Ellie here, and I have my incredibly colorful hot chocolate, and you know what that means? It's another episode of Tea Time. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of Winter by Marissa Meyer. In case you've never heard of Winter, this is the fourth and final book in the LUNAR Chronicles series. Each book in the LUNAR Chronicles is based off a fairy tale, so Cinder is based off of Cinderella, Scarlet is Little Red Riding Hood, Cress is Rapunzel, and Winter is Snow White. All these books and characters intertwine and make up for a really amazing dystopian adventure. I also did a review of the first 3 books in LUNAR Chronicles series in addition to the novella that went along with it, Fairest. I'll leave a link in the description to that if you want to go watch that first. I'm just gonna start off and say I loved this book. I can honestly say it's probably one of the best book conclusions I've ever read. And that's saying a lot. In Winter, you are officially introduced to the character Winter and her story and how she fits in with all these other characters. I actually really liked Winter, like a lot more than I expected to like her. She talks very dreamily and she's really like soft, and she reminds me a lot of a Luna Lovegood kind of character. However, even though I really loved Winter as a character, I hate Jason as a character. We first met Jason, I believe, back in Cress, and he wasn't a very nice guy. And I think I just kind of had that mentality throughout this whole book, and I just didn't like him at all, which was a bummer because I liked Winter, and I just don't like their relationship. I think in my last review, I also mentioned how I really loved Scarlet as a character in Wolf, and now I found that in Winter, I didn't like their characters that much. If anything, I started hating their characters. They felt very needy, and I didn't like where their storylines went. However, in Winter, I did gain more appreciation for Cinder. Cinder was probably one of my least favorite characters, but I thought in Winter you got to know her better and empathize with her more. And by the ending, I really felt for her struggles. I will say one of the biggest criticisms I have for Winter is that you didn't see a lot of Winter's side of the story. This book very much felt like the last novel in a series. The main focus was wrapping everything up, and I felt like Winter's storyline kind of got pushed down by that. I felt like Cinder was more the lead in this book instead of Winter. Of course, Winter did have a massive role, and she was in most of the chapters, and everything did focus around her. But I felt like Cinder was more the center of attention. Overall though, I did really enjoy this book. A lot of final books just kind of leave you and let you wonder about what's gonna happen. And this series definitely did, but I felt like I had closure. The last chapter or 2 was just winding everything up and making you content with how she ended the book. One final thing I do want to say about this book is a spoiler, so spoiler warning here on out. It's only one quick thing though, but I mean it is probably a big spoiler. One of the things that really upset me, and it's weird, but I didn't like that no one died. Of course Lavana died at the end, but I was kind of hoping that one of the main characters, like one of the main 8 died, or 9 if you count Aiko. I felt like the ending of this book built up a really big battle scene, and it kind of seemed a little odd that no one died. Especially in the throne room against Lavana, everyone was there and everyone was fighting and being controlled and was put in a life or death situation, yet no one died. I mean, yeah, people got stabbed and shot and lost limbs, but I kind of wanted someone to die. I think the person I wanted to die most was probably Wolf. And that's not to say that I didn't like him as a character, I just felt like his death would have made the most sense. As always, I will leave a link in the description bar to my Goodreads review of the book, and I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like if you like, and subscribe, and that's it. So I'm gonna go. Bye!
Thanks for watching. Imagine Workshop is awesome. Would you like to subscribe? We've got mail.
Cream. Ow, got it. Okay. Let's see if I can do this through a screen. Okay.
Next time.